Hey folks, I'm between trains at the minute and I figured I would record this month's update, sort of the August September update, between trains and then fix it and post it on the train. So I do 3 hours. I'm now in Dublin outside the Irish Financial Services Centre, and then I do another 3 hours up the other side of the country. So I stopped to get some food because I was hungry like a bear. So uh, I let's see, where do I start? I'll start with Patreon stuff. Simone's Gambit, opening moves, is part of a novella I've had in my head for a while, and I am going to spend the next 2 weeks so um, finishing that because I want to have it out in time for Octagon, which happens kind of the end of the month. Starts on the 1st of October, so I'm hoping to have that out. So I'm going to do that in the next 2 weeks. Your Salt Lake is due. I get into why things got a little delayed. I have nobody at tanked here at the minute, so that kind of takes some pressure off as regards the RPGs. I can just catch up on what's owed there and see what happens on that front. I'm not sure that's really working out. Yes, I keep looking. Yeah, I'm talking manners. He's got no manners. Always sticking his nose in. Anyway, so I will probably not be doing an RPG this month, just catching up on the rest of that, as well as Salt Lake. I will be finishing, like I said, the plan is to finish the Simone's Gambit, or Simone's Gambit, as I was trying to point out. It is actually a kind of neutral name because you have males of other cultures who have that name. So that's what I'm basically buckling down to do. It's why I'm going back up into the northwest to buckle down to that for the next 2 weeks. Third week I'll spend editing that and getting what your other Salt Lake and that out to you as well, and then hopefully I will have those things done. Sometime in the next few days the Flint Walker Chronicle 1 will be up and out. You'd like that, it's about a druid. Right. Where? Oh. Yes, I'm gonna stop mucking about with the bear statue now. So other than that, the thing that threw me kind of last month was discovering I have is the wrong word. My brain is aphantasic, maybe that would work. So my brain does not work like yours in visual imagery, because it turns out that when you people were imagining a rose, you weren't just thinking of the concept of a rose, you were actually visually perceiving a rose, which is not something I can do. As far as I can recall, it's not something I've ever been able to do. So it's an interest. It's very like the Aphantasia tag only got put on it in 2015, and I'm not entirely sure it's quite right, but that's me. I'm fuzzy. There is a surprising amount of writers. So the average is 2 to 3%, they reckon, of the world's population. Brain worked that way, and I posted about it in a little Patreon writers thing, and surprisingly there was more people there with it, and a lot of the people I've looked up. It's possibly because of the lack of visual imagery, we work more on verbal cues, and so there's more of an emotive connection with words and so on and so forth. So like when I stopped smoking way back in the day, one of the things I did was I switched the verbal cues around how I smoked. So I switched to, instead of quitting, damp, short, moist fart of a word, into I'm done, which also tone of finality also vaguely makes it sound like I was angry with them, which I kind of was. So verbal cues have a lot more strength with us, but visual images don't. And aphantasia isn't just visual imagery. Some people can imagine smells, other people can't, and so on and so forth. It's interesting, and it also kind of explains why my way of thinking is slightly different to most people's. Not all of it. I am still apparently quite a dumbass, so I can't excuse everything with aphantasia. Other things, little gaps in autobiographical memory. I filled you all in on this in the post a while back. So, but that kind of threw me for a couple of days, and Aoife, my girlfriend or partner or whatever the term is these days. Basically, we went on little adventures and excursions. It's an Irish National Heritage Park and down to the beach, which, despite it being very, very sunny, was very, very cold. The water, sorry, was very, very sunny everywhere except in the water. The other thing, so it's I've kind of processed the Aphantasia thing quite a bit now, so I'm kind of come to terms to a degree. So as I was saying, there's a lot of things like this is why, and then there's other things that nope, that's just because you're a dumbass. But yeah, but it's kind of lifted a bit of a weight off me in that I've got, I think one of the video guys put it as like, now we got a flag to fly under. So it's kind of that, and the fact there is a community about it, and it's a community that's quite open about their experiences and how things affected them. As you can look up Aphantasia Network as a website, there's quite a lot of information, videos on that. If you're interested, or if you think you might have it, there's a fairly accurate test that's on it. But you know, beware of confirmation biases and all of that. So on that note, yeah, so where are we? We'll sum up. To sum up, this month I will be trying to finish a novella in 2 weeks and get it out among the people. I have no idea what the cover is going to look at. It doesn't actually explain why I'm bad at art, by the way. There's actually quite a lot of very talented world-renowned artists who have aphantasia as well. So unfortunately, that's something else entirely. But that's a problem for another day. So novella, 2 weeks. The Salt Lick, probably on the 3rd week. No little people this month. I'll get back to little people next month. And I'm probably going to get into the nights of Christmas. I still have 6 nights over to people. Just so I can have that ready and have that to put out for Christmas as well. That one's weird. There's a goal from most of the story wandering about, if you haven't read them. So yeah, that's it. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you're all finding out things that are making you happy, or at least more content. And I will check in with you soon. Yes, you will, of course. What was Flint Walker? Nearly forgot. Yes, this is rambling. I'm heading back to the train station now. Flint Walker, I will be adding an intro to that. I will send you a new copy of that when I add it, because it's been pointed out. I have an intro kind of on the original doc and on Roy Road, but I don't have an intro in the actual EPUB. That might throw people who are brand new to it off if they don't bother reading the description. If they think that cover that's currently on it, which I think I'm going to have to change as well, is good. So they may need a bit more of an intro than, here's a chronicle of an infant game I ran. And maybe some explanations as to some of the events in them. Yeah. So I've messaged all of you at various points on the Patreon site of that. So if you want to get in touch, just respond to one of those messages. And let me know what's going on with you and what's going on with the world in general. And if you have any thoughts about any of my output at the minute, let me know. And you know, tell your friends, tell your family, tell people you don't like. Tell them all. And hopefully we can build a little community off this. Okay. Right, I best get some coffee before I get on the train. Look after yourselves.